Okay, here's some hints for homework sheet 19. We start off with nice simple simultaneous equations. What you'll note is I've dropped the point from the numbers at the end here just to make it a little bit easier. Times the top by 2, times the second one by 3, get rid of the a's, find what b is, and then find what a is. And then remember, the question's asking you what 3 bananas and 5 apples are. So don't forget to actually finish the question off by substituting these values in. An easy start. Question 2, well, here you're going to do one of your favourite kiss and smile methods. So 3 times x minus 3 for the bottom. Then you're going to do your cross multiplying and tidy up. Question 3, sketch the graph. Well, when we sketch a parabola, the first thing that we're looking for is where does it cross the x-axis. So put it equal to 0, factorise. Now I know the negative x squared at the end, but that's not really too much of a problem, because it just means we finish off with positive x and negative x. You're looking for numbers which multiply to 8 and add up to 2, so that must be like 4 and negative 2. So you work out where the numbers go. That's going to give you x equals and x equals for the 2 brackets. Plot them on your graph. You know that it's a negative x squared, so you know it's going to be one of these ones this time. Okay, find your line of symmetry. Draw your line of symmetry in. Work out the x value. Substitute that back into your equation, and that will give you the value for the maximum turning point. Question 4, remove the brackets. Now when you've got numbers and surds times numbers and surds, you just do the number times the number and then the surd times the surd. So 2 times 3 is 6, and then root 3 times root 6 is root 18. I'll let you work out the second multiplier, and then you do a wee bit of cancelling. Root 18 becomes root something times root something, and so on and so on and so on to simplify. Question 5, we treat these as 3 separate items. Okay, so when we put them in the calculator, now depending on what calculator you've got, it'll be 6EXP4 on some calculators. Other calculators have EE buttons, some have times 10 to the power buttons. But find out what your calculator does, type it in the calculator, and you have to give your answer in standard form. Not standard 4 like it says in the question, standard form. Question 6, area of the triangle, half BC sine A. Well, that's just a case of sticking the numbers 5, 7 and 120 into the formula, which shouldn't cause too many problems. For part B, what size does the angle need to be to make it a maximum, the biggest area? Well, in your formula you've got a sine function. You know from the sine graph that it's a maximum here. Now what is the number that gives the maximum value? So in other words, what is that number there? And that number there will be your answer for part B. Question 7, the cone. Now this is your cone to start off with. Then it gets opened out into this funny shape on the right hand side here. We know that the circumference of the circle is 30. So we know that that distance right round there is 30. And we therefore know that this distance here is also 30, because the distance round the arc must match the distance round the circle when it goes together. So we know that the arc is also equal to 30 centimetres. Okay, so if we're working out the area of this shape in here, first thing we'll need to try and find is what is that angle. So using your arc formula, which is angle over 360 times pi times d equals 30. Now you know what d is, that's just the diameter. The slant height is the radius, so if the radius is 12, then that will mean your diameter is 24. So alpha over 360 times pi times 24 equals 30. Now rearranging all of that is going to give you the size of the angle in the middle. Once you get the angle in the middle, that's then going to allow you to work out the area. And we know the area formula is alpha over 360 times pi r squared. Right, we know what the radius is, it's 12. We know what the angle is, we find that from there. Putting that together is going to give you this area here. Okay, the question, however, wants you to find the area of the whole net, so we're also going to have to find the area of this little circle. Now how are we going to do that? Well, we know its circumference is 30, right, we're told that in the question. So pi times d equals 30. So the diameter is 30 divided by pi, so whatever that comes out to be. Half in that gives you the radius of the circle. And then the area of the circle is pi r squared. So work out the diameter, that will give you the radius, putting it into that formula will give you the area. And then your final answer for the whole thing will be the area of the circle added to the area of the sector. I'm just going to add these two together. Quite a long and complicated question that, but see how you get on. Question 8, we have a lighthouse. Two ships can be seen. One ship is on a bearing of, now it says 0650, that's no 0650, that's 65 degrees. So that angle in there is 65 degrees. It's just a typing mistake. And the other is on a bearing of 118, so that angle in there is 118. Now if we know that's 65 and that whole angle is 118, then we can work out that the little angle inside that shape is 53. So basically our diagram just becomes a triangle which has got sides 15 and 22 and the internal angle is 53. And we are asked to calculate this distance here between the ships. So what formula are we going to use? Well, we've got this wee picture of u curling the angle. Whenever we have that wee picture, we know it's a cosine rule question. So we're going to use a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Stick your numbers in the formula and you'll have your answer. Okay.